Yuki and I ran a business together. We were sharemates for 10 years. As it was our peak time at work, I had to continue with the working, which we dealt with a lot of people. So I used to walk out that door, hang my shattered life on a bush and smile so that I could continue with my job. I think it took about a month before I could start breathing again. I felt like this heavy thing on my chest. And even at night time in bed, I would think, you can take a deeper breath, and somehow it just wouldn't happen. I did take medication so I could sleep at night time. And it's quite easy to get over-the-counter things, which I did, and that helped a lot. And I read bibliographies because most books seem to have someone died, somebody, and you just don't want to be reading about that. You can get through this time. You're stronger than you really realise. You just got to take that step by step to keep moving on. When I did finally visit my doctor, which was months later, about something completely irrelevant to any of this, I spoke about Yuki, and she said, it'll take you about 2 years to feel that you're coming out of this tunnel. And in my mind, I thought otherwise, but she was actually right. After about 2 years, you felt things were moving along better and you're feeling better. The immediate thing you'll have is to arrange the funerals and the memorial services and the things that go with that. Yuki's parents flew in from Japan, and so I guess I had that added thing of language, visiting solicitors during that time. What was the cultural things to do with funerals and memorial services? My sister also came, which was very helpful because during the daytime when I was out working, she could take care of them, and using her pidgin Japanese, they were able to communicate with dictionaries and things like that. During that time, I found it really difficult to make decisions, and I was lucky I'm in a church and people drop food around for us. So even to think, what am I going to cook for dinner? Oh, have we done shopping? Was a very hard thing to do during that time. I found that people suddenly feel they can confide in you about someone they know who has suicided. And that surprised me. I didn't know what to say, what to do about it, so I guess I just listened. Exercise helps. So I'm lucky I live near the beach and I spend a lot of time walking along the beach. I had a dog, so that helped with the walks, and also I walked with a friend. You need to find a friend that doesn't talk a lot. So my friend would listen and she would ask questions. One of the hard parts is there's a lot of solicitor work involved after the death of somebody, and emotionally you're not in that right headspace to deal with it, but you have to do it. So take a friend with you to help out with that, even if they take notes or they just listen. The bank, which I found was the most difficult of all of it, the friend's going to make sure you don't reach across that counter because the anger comes into you then, because they seem to make it very difficult for you. Talk about your friend, partner, family member who has suicide. Use their name because it gives permission for people to talk about them. People seem to be afraid to mention them because they don't want to upset you, they don't want to hurt you. Whereas if you use their name, you might talk about something that had happened, something you did together, something you did with that, all of you, the person you're talking to, and then people start talking about them. You want to speak about them, you want to remember them because you want to remember their life. It's not the death that you want to keep remembering, it's their life. You want to celebrate their life, which takes a while. I found for a long time all I could think about was the death part. And then after a while I could move in to thinking about the fun things that we had. Although I guess going home in the evenings was difficult because you really wanted to tell them about your day and the person wasn't there. But then you learn to tell other people, or with the change of lifestyle, I guess. Be gentle on yourself. It's really one step by one step by one step. Everybody's going to react differently. Everyone's going to have a different kind of feeling. I'm a Christian, and Yuki was also a Christian. But I found at that point my faith was really tested, and I found it really difficult. One of my Christian friends introduced me to a book, and it was called Holding On to Hope. And it's by a lady named Nancy Guthridge. It's only a really short book and short chapters, but I found that really, really helpful. Out of all the information, all the things ministers dropped off and books people recommended, I found that was the most helpful. You don't think you can get through this, but you can. Your life will be changed, and it definitely has changed you. But you can move forward with it. Perhaps the police, if it was at your home or they visited you, I'm not sure of the relationship, had dropped off a folder with things in it. I got one of those and I threw it on the cupboard and didn't look at it for 6 months. It's a really difficult time, but you can get on and keep going. You will change and it will change you. Soon after, maybe a couple of months after, I decided I'll go and see a grief counsellor person, and I paid them one visit and spent the whole time crying in front of them. So I only went once, and I figured I could cry at home for free. Some months later, I heard about community groups, and I joined one. It took me 12 months before I went there. I'd heard about it, and I found it a place to go. It was just once a month, but it was with other people that were in similar circumstances. And it wasn't expected, you'll get over it. It's been 12 months now. You should have moved on. Why are we still talking about this? And you can just turn up and say nothing. You can turn up and talk. It's just a place that you can go. And I highly recommend it. Perhaps the most important thing is you've just been through something that's terrible, horrible. Words can't describe it, but you can get through it. You can move forward. Move forward with one foot in front of the other and be kind to yourself. Go out and do that exercise. Go out into the fresh air. It'll take time. Your life will never be the same again. But remember that time, the fun times you had with that person. Remember to celebrate their life. And don't be afraid to look for some help in the community groups that are available. It's well worth going.